They're floating it, man. Adam Schefter on the 17-hour pregame show on ESPN before the Super Bowl said that these are discussions that the Bears are having.
They have talked about the idea, as unlikely as it seems, of carrying both quarterbacks, taking the guy at one and keeping Fields. Now, will they get to that? It's hard to imagine that, but that is a conversation that's come up within the organization.
Well, you know, it's funny. The Dallas Cowboys actually did that.
Yeah, Steve Walsh
and Troy Aikman. So we've seen it done before. And the thing that's crazy, though, is, look, what you hear outside is this is the closest thing, prospect, to Patrick Mahomes that we've ever seen. Now, if that's the case, like, please don't say it's Bryce Young. Compare this guy to Bryce Young. Yeah, to me, if this is the case right here, look, this thing could be, I mean, 5-6 first-round picks would it be worth it if you can get a Patrick Mahomes. So to me, we're going to find out all about this.
Now we are entering smokescreen season, okay, by these teams, and there's no way they keep Caleb Williams and they also have Justin Fields on the roster. That's just my own personal opinion. Something is happening here. A trade is going to be worked. Fields is moved, or they're taking Caleb's number one. There's no way. That's smokescreen all over the place.
No, it's not smokescreen. They've talked about it. I'm not telling you they're doing it, but they've talked about it. That's not a smokescreen. That's a fact.
Rex, if they do move on from
it ain't happening.
That's also a fact.
All right. So they've talked about it, but hey, both things can be true there. It's a fact that they've talked about it, but the fact that Adam Schefter knows that they've talked about it could be the smokescreen. Hey, they might keep Justin Fields, so we've got to make them a real offer. We're not going to be able to get him for a 4th-round pick. We got to make them a real offer, or else they're just going to keep this guy. You know, both of those things can exist in the land of truth.
Oh, absolutely. Schefter being used by a front office as a leverage play? Do tell, Danny.
Yes.
I'll sit down. Tell me stories about it. Yes, could certainly be the case. I'm fascinated by the comp of Steve Walsh and Troy Aikman. The circumstances are very different. I mean, Troy Aikman was taken number 1 overall in the 1989 NFL draft. And then the Cowboys took Steve Walsh the same year in the supplemental draft as the 2nd overall pick. So it's the same year. So it's 2 rookies at the same time. Man, 2 rookies at the same time.
I said at the same time you did.
It's everybody's dream.
That's what I do.
That's what I do.
$1 million.
If it was my team, that's what I would do. So 2 at the same time. And you know what they had to give up for using that 2nd overall pick of the supplemental? They had to give up the number 1 overall pick in the 1990 NFL draft.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot for taking a guy in the supplemental because it ended up being in the first round. Walsh started 5 games and couldn't beat out Aikman, but Jimmy apparently wanted Walsh, whereas Jerry really wanted Aikman. So that was the initial thing that happened there.
Well, let's also
same year, same rookie contracts, not year 3 versus year 1.
Yeah, the comparing things to, well, when Jimmy and Jerry were running the Cowboys, they did it. It's like, we've heard enough stories from Wanstead about how that whole thing went down all the time.
How many Bloody Marys that they had before the supplemental draft?
Yeah, were they on a private plane? Were they playing blackjack? What country were they in? Like,
what sandwich was Tony Wise eating when they called him in to ask for his opinion?
Was Jerry on an IV drip of Johnny Walker Blue? Like, honestly, I don't think that is really precedent for anything.
Well, it's a team doing it with
it's a team doing
two
it.
Quarterbacks, 2 highly drafted quarterbacks on the same rookie deal. It was much laughed at the time, and they just had so many picks left over from the Herschel Walker deal that they could give up a number 1 overall for it and not really even have it matter.
I think it's
crazy.
Because Schefter says it and they've talked about it, it's obviously worth 6 minutes of our airtime or whatever, but I think it's untenable in the room for the soft factors that you love and always talk about because Justin is so popular and you don't want to set Caleb up to fail winning over his teammates and create divide in that way. But also, you only lose value in Justin Fields if you do that because he gets further into, well, now you got to pick up a 5th-year option. He only gets more expensive the longer he's in the league.
I have a specific team and a pick that I dream of for Fields' trade value, and I think it's actually the one that Schefter brought up. Was this the same from the same 17-hour pregame show? Oh, it's from McAfee.
This is from McAfee,
Okay.
and it is now the gambling favorite.
It is.
Adam Schefter says that the Pittsburgh Steelers and Justin Fields makes sense.
We know that Pittsburgh's going to go out and get some type of quarterback, whether that's Ryan Tannehill, whether that's Russell Wilson, whether that's Justin Fields. Who Justin Fields, I know Mike Tomlin's a big fan of Justin Fields. We'll keep that in mind during the offseason in the coming weeks.
Wow.
So there'll be a decision that organization has to make in terms of the quarterback that they want to bring in. But they're not just going to leave it as Kenny Pickett, his starting job. Mike Tomlin made that very clear. So now it's which of these quarterbacks do they make a move for? Which one is somebody that they can go acquire? And who fits into what they're willing to give up to either another team or to pay that player?
Mike Tomlin back. OC, Artie Smith. Yes. Him and Justin Fields. People are talking about him in Atlanta with Justin Fields. We'll be excited to see what it is in Pittsburgh.
So round 2, the Steelers pick is number 51, okay? But that round 1 pick at number 20, it's time, Ryan Poles. Payback is a bitch for the Steelers. You gave them this high second-round pick for Chase Claypool. Make them give you a 1 for Justin Fields. Go ahead and get that 20. Find some other team. Find Atlanta earlier in the second round. Convince Tomlin and the Steelers that you have that one as a possibility. Make them give you their number 1.
What would you give up their third to do it? Fields and a third for a first-round pick. You're not getting. I don't think you're getting the 20th pick in the draft for Justin Fields straight up.
I think that's the pick that you dream of when we've heard pundits say, "Oh yeah, you'll get a 2, maybe a 1." That's the one they're thinking about.
I'd
give up a 4.
I think it's a future one.
I'd give up a 4.
I think if you want a first-round pick, you're getting next year's first-round pick. I don't think you're getting this year's first-round pick for Justin Fields.
Whatever, Danny. This is my dream and fantasy.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Sure. I'll give up a 4th-round pick. I'll give up the Bears' 4th-round pick
and Justin
Fields to get number 20 overall, and that's where I'll take my Jackson Powers Johnson. Thank you very much.
It would be very exciting.
Oh, yes, it would.
It would be 3 picks in the first round.
3 in the top 20.
Quarterback, receiver, center. It'd be pretty good.
Let's go.
It'd be pretty exciting.
And then spend some free agent money on defense. Lady Berflus do his thing.
Yeah.
And hope that Shane Waldron is not a dope.
That would be very, very exciting. Steelers are now the favorites to be Justin Fields' next team.
So that's interesting. When did that happen? After this conversation?
After the Schefter thing.
After the Schefter thing.
Yeah, they were 15-1 3 days ago, and now they're the favorite in front of the Bears.
How good would you feel if you're Ryan Poles getting a little payback for the embarrassment of giving up your high 2 for Claypool?
I mean, dude, today, my buddy sent me a screenshot of it. Today on ESPN, they had the graphic up. Would the Steelers be a Super Bowl contender with Justin Fields? A Super Bowl contender.
Man.
Justin Fields isn't bad. He is not bad. He is a good football player.
And he could get better.
And he could get better. And he has been done wrong, and he has not had good coaching and continuity and all of those things. I don't think the Steelers are a Super Bowl contender with Justin Fields. I think that's a little crazy, especially in his first year there, learning another offense and everything that would come with that. But that is how people are talking about Justin Fields. So maybe you're right to hold out hope for the 20th pick in the draft.
Absolutely holding out hope for that.
Okay. Texas says you're just turning this into the Justin Fields show. Again, it was on all over ESPN. Get ready for it. Like, if you're uncomfortable with it, I understand. You should probably be like Mitch Trubisky and turn off all the TVs. Because it's going to be everywhere for at least the next month.
Mm-hmm.
New league year starts March 13th. That's when maybe you can begin to move on from it.